Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We're back in effect. It's the season preview series, and tonight we are going to review the small forward, power forward, and center positions and talk about who gets what. So, let's get this thing started.
That's the G.
Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. The season is just 10 days away. Preseason, that is. It's 10 days away. Training camp is 10 days away. You're going to want to stay updated on everything that's happening during training camp, so make sure you subscribe right now to the channel. As I said, tonight, we're going to review these. We're going to continue our position battle discussion. We're going to talk about the small forward, power forward, and the starting center positions. And to be honest with you, one of those positions we probably don't really need to discuss too much because we kind of got an idea of who's going to be where. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to discuss it anyway. Maybe there's one or two people that believe that power forward position is up for grabs. I don't, but maybe there's some people out there that do. I don't know. But before we get started, we're going to introduce everybody that's in the video chat, you know, and get this thing going. Tonight, we're going to have another episode of The Front Stoop. I'm glad to be back on The Front Stoop. As we move through, we're going to move through this. Then we're going to get to the front stoop. You know what I mean? I got a few things I want to discuss on the front stoop. It's going to be good. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead and introduce the guys in the video chat, man, so we can get this thing popping real quick. Let me see. I'm going to start off with Guillermo. Guillermo, what's good with you, bro?
Yo, it's good, Sim. How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling.
Yo.
We getting back on the front stoop tonight, Guillermo, and we got some stuff to talk about, man. Sky Zoo dropped that album today called Retropolitan, produced entirely by Pete Rock.
Okay, I gotta check that out.
Too. It is dope, and we can't see your face, man.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, my bad.
It's dope too.
My bad.
It's definitely dope. DJ Premier, and you know he's dropping a Gangstar album. He dropped a single with Guru and J. Cole that dropped today as well. You know what I mean? And I know this is a Knicks show, ladies and gentlemen, but it's just something I wanted to get it off my chest. And then Ghostface album came out a week ago.
I gotta listen to that too, man. I gotta listen to that, man.
You haven't listened to it yet?
I listened to because I only listened to the song with the video where it's like him and all these dudes are like robbing the house of the rich dude, and he takes the girl at the end who I think set it up. And I like that song, but I'm always like, oh damn, I'm gonna listen to Ghostface Killers, and I just forgot. So I'm gonna definitely listen to it, man.
Gamma.
Ghostface is in my top 5, man.
Ghostface is in your top. That's what I was gonna say. He's in your top 5. How did you not listen to his album when it came out?
Bro, I'm still in my Rock Marciano phase right now, man. If y'all don't know, so he just came out. Well, not him, but Alchemist just came out with Yacht Rock 2.
I'm just saying, man. The brother is in your top 5. If he's in your top 5, top 5, you gotta listen to it as soon as it drops. All of these albums, as soon as midnight hit, I was on them.
You got it. Yes, I'm gonna listen. But for me, when I listen to an album from a person I really like, or I'm trying to give a chance to, I gotta sit down like in a certain mood and then listen. So it's not like I'm trying to play good. Trust me, I'm gonna listen to Ghost.
I haven't listened to the whole thing either. I've listened to a bunch of tracks, but I haven't really dove into it and tried to digest everything. You know what I'm saying? None of the albums I have, they haven't been out long enough. But anyway, we're gonna talk.
Can I say one thing, Sim?
What'd you say?
Can I say one real quick thing on how much disrespect the Knicks get, man?
Yeah, go ahead.
I went to the NBA store today on was it Fifth Avenue and not Fifth Avenue, I think it's Madison and 44th or 45th, whatever it is. and the lack of like jerseys they have for other players. I mean, it's an NBA store. Don't get me wrong. So they gotta serve every team, but like the only jerseys they really had Franks. They had a few Frank jerseys. They had a few Knox jerseys that you had to like look for, and then Barrett. But like other than that, they really had nothing for the Knicks, man. Like the Knicks are getting. There's no fanfare. There's no hype for Barrett. There's nothing, man. So this year we better be. I'm rooting so hard for Barrett to kill him, man, because it's just weird how much disrespect the Knicks are getting, man. Like the cashier is a dude who's from Brooklyn. He's from Flatbush, East Flatbush, and he's talking about he's a Nets fan. Like I'm like, bro.
It's all right.
Bruh, like,
it's all right. We'll stay under the radar. I'm cool with that. We stay under the radar. You know what I mean? And then sneak up on some people. I'm good with that. I'm good with it. Let me get around to the crew. City, what's good, bro?
Hey, what's going on, Sam?
I'm chilling, man. I'm really chilling right now.
Yo, you
getting
good?
better. You know, I was a little bit
Yo.
sick. The last stream, I was a little bit sick. I wasn't feeling well. I'm starting to get better. I haven't really been sleeping well at night because I haven't been able to breathe, but I'm getting better. I feel better.
I was gonna say, hey, bro, I was gonna say, man, you sound congested, like you got the like you need to get on the Mucinex joint.
Yeah, I'm a little congested, man. I'm a little congested right now. I've been drinking Theraflu and everything. You know what I mean? But I'm good though. I'm good. I'm excited. I'm excited to do this tonight and then get on the front stoop directly after this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that. So it's gonna be dope. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, man.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, well let me go ahead and get the Savvy and then whoever else just joined us so we can get through it. You know what I mean? And we can get on to the front stoop. Savvy,
directly after
what's
this.
Good, bro?
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm excited for that. So
my man Savvy, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
I can't even hear anything he's saying right now.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Let me go ahead and get the Savvy.
Dang. Yo, I'm sorry.
Hold on. All right, let me get to my man that just joined us. Bradman, Bleaks Sports. Bradman, what's popping, bro?
What's going on, man? How are you guys doing? Can you guys hear me?
Man, I'm good. Always nice to have new people join us in the video chat, bro. The only thing I would say is if it's possible, it sounds like you're probably on speakerphone. It might be a little clearer. We might hear you a little bit clearer if you have some headphones or something, man.
All right, cool. Let me get some headphones. Yeah.
But what's good with you, man?
I'm doing well, man. This is my first time, man. I'm actually a New York Knicks fan from Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right, that's what's up. Did you grow up in Florida? Did you grow up or did you grow up in New York and then move to Florida?
Actually, I was born in New York and I grew up in Florida. So, but I always remain a Knicks fan.
All right, that's what's up. My kids are the same way. Well, my daughter is the only one in my family that wasn't born in New York State. You know what I'm saying? But she's still a Knicks fan because the whole house is a Knicks fan, you know?
Right.
You know?
Right.
You can't have anything else. If she was a Wizards fan or if anybody else was a Wizards fan or a Bulls fan or Indiana or Miami fan or whatever, I'd probably kick them out. I'd probably make them sleep out in the shed or something. You know what I'm saying? We not having none of that in here.
I feel you. That's true. That's true.
But my man, I appreciate. I'm glad you're here. You know what I'm saying? Always nice to have new people in the chat. We're gonna start talking about these position battles and break down these battles a little bit. All right, Savvy, can you hear me now?
Delay on here.
Can you hear me, Savvy?
No, I can't hear him through the.
I guess he can't hear me. I don't know what's going on with Savvy, but we'll get it together. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I'm live or drop a video or anything good like that. And we about to go ahead and get this thing popping, get this thing jumping off. But first, before we even get to that, let me just shout out to some people that's in the chat. I see a lot of people in the chat. Mike Morgan, Real Shark Finn, William Mason. Dino Cannon said he got his Cool J bucket hat on tonight. He must have a Kango on, chilling with the Kango. I'm feeling that. Mike Morgan, it's me. Bleak Sports, who just joined us in the video chat. Alex Jess, Christian Jones, Delano Steele, King E161, It's Me, Siobhan Robinson, Brian Nurse, Corrupt Killer. Everybody in the chat, man. Big shout out to everybody. Knicks Feed, MH, Ralph Unreal. Big shout out to everybody. But we're going to go ahead and get to this battle, right? Because the position we're getting ready to discuss now, and I know some people are probably like, come on, can we get to it? We're getting to it now. What we're about to discuss now, we're going to discuss the small forward, power forward, and center positions. Okay? And you know that power forward position is kind of locked up. We know that. It's kind of locked up. But the small forward and power positions, I'm going to say they could be up in the air. They could definitely be up in the air. So let's get into it. And we'll talk about some more things in a little bit. We're going to start off with the small forward battle. And basically, that small forward battle is between three players at the moment. Marcus Morris, Kevin Knox, Ignaz Brazdeikis. You could throw R.J. Barrett in the mix, but I didn't throw R.J. Barrett in there tonight. But you can. We could have thrown R.J. Barrett in with the point guards. Obviously, we did with the shooting guards, and we could throw him in with the small forwards. Right? So, but for now, we're going to discuss these three players. And then we'll go on from there. All right, so the first person we're going to discuss is Marcus Morris. All right, we're going to talk some Marcus Morris. I'm glad I joined you back on the screen. All right, Marcus Morris, he was acquired this year in free agency. He can play small forward and power forward. He's probably better at the power forward, I think, but he can play small forward and power forward. He's 6'9", 235 pounds. Last season, he averaged 13.9 points per game. And this was with the Boston Celtics. All right. 6.1 rebounds per game. 1.5 assists per game. 1.2 turnovers per game. And here's the kicker for Marcus Morris. 45% from the field. He shot 37% from three. And I think that's going to be hugely important for the Knicks this season. Right? It's going to be huge for the Knicks to have people that can spread the floor. Marcus Morris is one of those guys that can spread the floor. And to have him doing it from that small forward spot will be huge for the Knicks. Especially if the starting point guard and shooting guard are guys that we expect them to be or think they might be in being Dennis Smith Jr. and R.J. Barrett or Elfrid Payton and R.J. Barrett. Well, guess what? Those guys may not be able to shoot the three. So you got to have some people on the floor that can shoot it. And this is where I get into a lot of arguments with people about the starting lineup. Because the starting lineup that a lot of people have in their mind is Dennis Smith Jr., R.J. Barrett, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. That's the lineup that people have in their mind to go on the floor. Where's the three-point shooting there? That's my question as we go through. Think about, as we're going through these position battles, think about the three-point shooting and how we're going to spread the floor and open up lanes for guys like Dennis Smith Jr., guys like R.J. Barrett, Elfrid Payton, for those guys to penetrate and get into the lane. Because that's an important part of any offense. So this is why Marcus Morris is important. 45% shooting from the field, 37% from three. He did that last year with 27.9 minutes per game. This is one position here that there's not too much of a glut. The glut really comes in at the shooting guard and power forward spots. That's where the glut is. Let's talk about some of his strengths. You see it already on the screen, Marcus Morris. Some of his strengths. 3-point shooting, we just discussed it. Right? And why it's so important. All right. Also, Marcus Morris. He's a no-nonsense type of a guy, something we haven't really had with the New York Knicks. So we got a couple of those guys here this season. He's a no-nonsense type of guy. He's a rough and tough, bang 'em up type of a guy. We're not going to have people trying to punk the New York Knicks. And as Cantor tried to do it last year, he really didn't do a good job. He wasn't believable. I don't think he was believable. But hey, he tried to do it. Somebody had to try to do it. He tried to do it. I give him props for that. But Marcus Morris is believable and he's serious. Ain't nobody punking Marcus Morris. And if no one's punking Marcus Morris, ain't nobody punking the Knicks. All right? That's why I like having the brother on the team. He's got that playoff veteran presence. Something that the Knicks need and was sorely lacking last year. You know, a guy that's been in the playoffs. He's been through some battles. He understands how to get there, how to perform when you get there, what it takes to get there throughout the season. It's going to be important. I think that's really, really important for this team. Weaknesses. Not too many weaknesses for Marcus Morris, but a couple. One, emotions can get the best of him at times. And look, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we're going to need someone like Marcus Morris to step in and be that guy, be that energy guy, be the guy that when we're losing, you know, maybe starts getting on people and letting them know where they need and better be on the floor. You need someone like that. That Rasheed Wallace type of dude, man. But there are times, like Rasheed Wallace, with Marcus Morris, where his emotions can get the best of him. I don't know if that's a trait that you want to take away, though. I don't know if you want to take that away. Because sometimes you need that player. You need that guy out there. Also, his field goal percentage dropped in the second half of last season. He was shooting really, really well up until about February 1st or so. Then it started to drop. Hopefully, this is not. Hopefully, it's not. It was an anomaly. It's not a trend. You know, and he brings it back and he picks it back up coming into this season. That's Marcus Morris for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's Marcus Morris. So that's the first guy we're talking about when it comes to that small forward position. Let's look at the next guy. The next guy is our prized rookie from last year, Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox was drafted by the Knicks with the 9th pick in the first round of the 2018 draft. He's a small forward / power forward, 6'9", 215 pounds. You see the difference between him and Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris is what? 6'9", 235 pounds. Kevin Knox, a young dude, 20 years old. He's 6'9", 215 pounds. You know, that's what he's got to contend with in the league. You know, people wonder why maybe he's a little bit tentative and not as assertive. Well, you know, you got to deal with some big dudes down there. But, you know, Kevin Knox, in my opinion, moving forward, I don't think he's going to remain. Maybe right now he's able to play that small forward spot. I think in the future, Kevin Knox is going to be a power forward. That's just my opinion. A stretch power forward. You know, and, you know, we'll see where that takes us as long as we have Julius Randle on the team. We'll see where it takes us. And maybe he will be able to play both positions. You know, he is able to, you know, he can dribble a little bit. He's able to advance the ball up the floor if you need him to. I think Julius Randle can do that a little bit too. All right. So when you talk about positionless basketball, you know, he could be the epitome of that. But anyway, Kevin Knox last season, he averaged 12.8 points per game. 4.5 rebounds per game. He averaged 1.1 assists per game and 1.5 turnovers per game. Now, here's where we really need Kevin Knox to improve. All right, last season, Kevin Knox shot 37% from the field, 34% from three, which really isn't that bad, to be honest with you. And if Kevin Knox can, Marcus Morris shot 37% from three. Kevin Knox shot 34%, and it's not like Kevin Knox was shooting from three. He shot the ball from three. It's not like he had limited attempts. Right? He had a good number of attempts from three. And he still shot 34%. If he can bring that up this year to around 36, 37%, now he's rivaling Marcus Morris, at least from that three-point shooting position. Three-point shooting, he's rivaling him. Can he get his field goal percentage up to 44%? Obviously, there's still things like assertiveness, defense, that we've got to worry about with Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox did it last year, 28.8 minutes per game. That's how much time he got on the floor. Let's look at his strengths and weaknesses. His strengths. He can play the 3 and the 4 position. I was just talking about this. Last year, David Fizdale went into his thing where he was like, I can see Kevin Knox at the 2 if we have a super long lineup on the floor, whatever. You know what I'm saying? No, it's not happening. It's not happening. Kevin Knox can play the 3 and the 4 position. And I think in the future, he's going to be more of a 4 as he gets stronger and he gets bigger and his body fills out. He may not be fast enough to guard the 3 position. We'll see. He has a versatile offensive game. He can catch the ball off the glass and take it coast to coast. I talk about it all the time. He can score a little bit in the post. He can go to the basket. He can shoot mid-range. He can shoot the 3. Now, so he's skilled. Is he highly efficient at all of those things at this moment? No, but he's skilled. He's definitely skilled, and he can do those things. He's just got to work on being efficient and being effective with it. And as I said, he can take it coast to coast. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I wish that all of my players from 1 through 5 could take it coast to coast. One of these days, maybe Mitchell Robinson will be able to take it coast to coast. Who knows? I just like it makes your fast break. You can start your fast break so much quicker. When anybody on the floor can catch it off the glass and go, you can get, and then everyone else can run the lanes, you can get up the floor. You know what I'm saying? And beat that defense back. When your big man has to catch the ball and then find a guard, sometimes it can hold your defense back. Now, sometimes it can hold your transition offense back. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you have a guy that can really outlet pass and guards that can really get open, can help jumpstart your offense too when you have the big man getting it off the glass and passing it up. But I like big guys that can move the ball up the floor, bring the ball up the floor, and jumpstart that fast break. Let's talk about his weaknesses. Assertiveness. I think that's the number one thing for Kevin Knox right now. He was a little bit more assertive in Summer League. Can he and will he be assertive in the NBA? There's a difference. There's a difference because in the Summer League, you got guys around your age or guys trying to make it into the league. Your confidence level is a little bit higher. You know what I'm saying? Your willingness to demand the basketball, your willingness to take shots that maybe you wouldn't take if you got some old vets like Marcus Morris on the team looking at you, staring at you, right? You're a little bit more free because you're playing with guys your age and, guys that haven't made it into the league yet, things like that. But we need Kevin Knox to be assertive. We need Kevin Knox to assert himself on the floor because he has a lot of ability. Right? And he's going to have a big, strong body. So he's got to learn how to assert himself so he can use his body to get to the cup, knock people over. I did like in the Summer League this year that he would dip his shoulder and boom. He would dip his shoulder a little bit, hit the other person's shoulder, and then keep going to the cup. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him continue to extend too when he's going in to lay the ball up. You know, sometimes he lets it go short. I want to see him extend all the way to the cup. Consistency. We need Kevin Knox to be consistent. Right? It kind of goes with the assertiveness because sometimes he is assertive and then sometimes he's not. And it's a growing process. I get that. I know. It's a growing process. It's a growing process. Defense. Last year, Kevin Knox was one of the worst defenders in the league, according to statistics. Now, the New York Knicks were one of the worst basketball teams the worst basketball team in the league and had one of the worst defenses in the league. The New York Knicks were 26th in defense last season. 26th. So a lot of our guys were going to be down towards the bottom of the league when it comes to individual defensive rating. But Kevin Knox was down there. We're going to need him to bring that up. We need him to be able to play defense. He has the ability. He has the talent. You know, again, defense comes with assertiveness as well. Those things kind of play a role together, you know. Now let's talk about the other guy, another rookie, at least a rookie from this year, Ignaz Brazdeikis. The Knicks drafted Iggy with the 47th pick in the second round of this year's draft. And it was a good pick. I think it's a really good pick. You know what I mean? I think they did a good job picking up Iggy. And, you know, looking at all of the forwards we have on this team, all of these guys aren't going to be here 2 years from now. Hopefully Iggy will, and he steps in to be a role player. You know, right now I think it's about development. He could surprise and get some playing time. We'll see what happens there. He's a small forward. He's 6'7", 220 pounds. He's a small forward. I know in college he plays a power forward. I don't think he has that kind of size in the NBA. But that poses a problem too. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go over his stats from Michigan. All right. As a freshman at Michigan, he averaged 14.8 points per game. 5.4 rebounds, 0.8 assists, and there's a part of his game that he's got to learn how to, you know, from that small forward position, you want people to be versatile and be able to do. That small forward position is like a Swiss Army knife, man. You know what I'm saying? You do everything from that position, so we need him to, we'll talk about that. He averaged 0.8 assists, 1.5 turnovers. He shot 46% from the field and 39% from three. And again, there's another person that can spread the floor from the three. And I'm pretty sure he can do it from NBA range. I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. Obviously, he has no minutes because he didn't play any minutes in the NBA last year. He's a rookie, just coming into the league, so you're not going to see any minutes played from Iggy. Part of the reason why there's not as much of a glut at the small forward position. His strengths. Let's take a look at his strengths. He's a natural scorer. The guy can score the basketball in different ways. He knows how to score. You know, he can knock it down from three and go to the cup. He may be able to, you know, knock down a post move here and there when he's, you know, when he's in the right position. He can slash to the basket. He can do a lot of things. He's a natural, versatile scorer. We'll see if it translates to the NBA, if he can do it in the NBA. You know, we did see him drop 30 in the Summer League. Aggressive and energetic. That is a big plus for him. He's very aggressive, very energetic. He has a high motor, always moving. You know, that's going to be a plus for him because we need players like that on the floor. He can hit the three. You've seen it. He's shooting from 39%. Weaknesses. There's one big weakness. There's questions about his defense in the NBA. And the question is, can he defend the small forward position in the NBA? See, in college, he was playing power forward. But he's the size of a small forward in the NBA. He was playing power forward in college, guarding power forwards in college. Now, power forwards in the NBA, you know, you see they're going to be 6'9", 6'10", maybe 6'11". Is he going to be able to guard them? Or would you even put him there because of the height difference, the size difference? Now, small forward, is he fast enough? Does he have the foot speed to defend small forwards in the NBA because he'll probably and likely be a small forward in the NBA. Does he have the foot speed to defend small forwards? That is what's, if anything is going to would ever keep him out of the NBA, it would be that. It would be that. Playmaking skills for others. And you see he averaged 0.8, less than 1 assist per game. You'd like to have your small forward have the ability to make some plays for others when necessary. You know, like I said, that small forward position is a Swiss Army knife. You got to be able to score, rebound, assist, play defense. There's some really, really good small forwards in the NBA, folks. Really good small forwards in the NBA. So, I'm going to get to you guys, man. I want to know what you guys think. So my question to you is, who you got? Who you got? Who's your starting small forward? Who's your backup? Is it Marcus Morris? Is it Kevin Knox? Is it Iggy? Or is there a wild card in there? Is there a wild card somewhere? That's what I want to know. Right now, we're going to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to talk a little bit about it. Before we get to that, I want to remind you to subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell so you can be notified anytime that I go live or drop a video or post in my community section. All right? And I do want to remind you, too, the season is just about here. October the 7th is coming up. That's the first preseason game. If you want to buy some tickets, go to SeatGeek.com and use the code NBK. You get $20 off your first purchase. All right? $20, you know, it's just something for you, man. Something for you because you always log on with me and talk with me and stuff like that. I appreciate it. You go there, you put the code NBK in, you get $20 off your first purchase. Do that. All right, let's get to these guys right here. Let's talk about the small forward position. Let me see. I'm gonna start off with. Let me see if Savvy got his audio up. Savvy, you good? Now I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Guillermo, you good?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right. I don't know what's up with Savvy's having some audio issues, but he'll get it. All right, man. We talk about the small forward position. You know, I went over some of the strengths and weaknesses of the guys. Tell me what you think, man. Who do you have starting that small forward this season?
I think to start off the season, and obviously I think it's going to change just given how guys are going to be traded and blasey. I think it's going to start from Marcus Morris, right? Because one, he signed the contract. And like we said before, I think that he's trying to build up goodwill in the NBA. So even if, like, I could see a guy like Iggy, and maybe even Knox, but I could see a guy like Iggy kind of balling out in preseason or, you know, kind of taking advantage of the chances, being aggressive, being that type of guy that Fizzo wants to see long term. But I could definitely see Marcus Morris because, look, you know what the floor is with Marcus Morris. You know what he's going to give you. He's going to give you the toughness and the defense that he's shown in the NBA. You know what I mean? Iggy can easily get frazzled early on, you know, really quick because, one, he's not fast enough for 3, but he's not strong enough for 4. So I think that Marcus Morris starting out is going to be that guy. I think once, you know, when he gets traded, if the Knicks start in contention or, you know, if they're kind of on the cusp, or if someone blows him away, a team like the Clippers, I don't know if the Clippers are going to trade. I'm just making this up. Mm-hmm. But obviously, you know, the 1-year deal is definitely like, hey, unless the Knicks win like 50 games or something like that, you know, he's probably going to get traded. So I think he's going to start out for the season. And I think after that is going to be a toss-up between Iggy and Knox. Does Knox show us what he showed us in the summer league? You know, using his strength to get to the basket, shooting a 3 off the dribble, being able to shoot the 3 off the pass? Or is Iggy going to be the new kid who's going to be the 3-and-D guy, the hustle guy, and kind of bring that toughness or maintain, you know, 70% of the toughness that Marcus Morris gave you before, you know, he hypothetically gets traded? So start out with Marcus Morris, and I think it's going to be a battle after that. But
okay. So let me ask you, do you think that Iggy's going to be able to defend threes in the NBA? Think he's going to have a problem or no?
I mean, look, he's relatively – what is he, 20 – how old is he, 22?
Iggy? Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me check that for you. I'm not
No,
exactly sure right now.
He's 24.
I know he came out as a freshman. He's a freshman.
Oh, so
but I don't think he's 19.
Yeah, so
he's 20 years old. He's 20.
He's 20 years old. Oh yeah, so he's young. So you never know how these guys develop, man. So I'm not writing him off. Look, he could be a guy who's relatively weak starting out, and then gets stronger, grows into his body, learns the speed of the NBA. I think that Iggy, he might not have the natural talent, but given how the NBA is, especially with a lot of these threes, is not. I think it's more smarts than anything. It's awareness, right? When you look at the players on the Knicks, Knox was one of the worst defenders in the league, but it wasn't necessarily because of a lack of athleticism. It's just this guy was not aware. Like his mindset. Maybe he got too much things on his plate, but it's just his positioning and all that stuff. So in the NBA, you don't have to be the most athletic, right? Bruce Brown wasn't the most athletic. Raja Bell wasn't the most athletic. They just had great instincts, and I think that if Iggy can learn from guys like Marcus Morris how to position yourself, how to defend the baseline, learning, all right, I know this guy can't shoot a three, so I'm going to give him space and kind of clog the passing lanes versus this guy can't shoot a three, but he can't really drive me. So it's a lot of his instincts and learning, the nuances of the game. And I think that Iggy's that type of player. Like, I can see him doing that. I can see him getting in foul trouble early on because he's trying to make a statement, which, I have no problem with. I also see him being a smarter guy and being confident. I think Knox, could take a page from that. But, Iggy, even as Summer League, I know Summer League, but he just didn't seem frazzled. Like, he just doesn't seem to be a guy who's going to be frazzled in the NBA. So, yeah, he's probably going to get beat by the Kawhi Leonards. Oh, does Kawhi Leonard play 3? I guess he plays a 4-3, whatever you want to call it. The Paul Georges. But I think he's smart enough where, he's going to be probably, average, maybe slightly above average defender in the NBA once he gets his feet set.
Okay. All right. And I see it in the chat. I think it was Christian. I'm not trying to find his last name, but Christian Jones said that Marcus Morris is going to be to Kevin Knox what DJ was to Mitchell Robinson. And I think that's a pretty good comparison.
They said again that Marcus Morris. Oh yeah. I hope
that might be a good good comparison. If he can take some of his fire, if Kevin Knox can get some of Marcus Morris's fire, that'd be good. Now, will they have the same type of relationship? I don't know, because DJ and Mitch, they were like the same person, just different ages. You know what I mean? But
this is all going to be on Fizzo, because look, if you scratch my back, I scratch yours, right? So Fizzo came in, and he probably gave Marcus Morris probably a high contract and what he was going to get, but once his agent screwed up that Clippers deal, right? So if they have an understanding between Fizzo, if Marcus Morris and Fizzo have an understanding, like, hey, unless the Knicks go far, you probably don't have a big future here, but we're going to do everything that's possible to kind of get you in the best situation, trade you up to a contender, possibly to your liking. And it's like, hey, if you could do that, just help some of these kids get up to speed. And Marcus Morris might be one of those type of guys, like, hey, Fizzo's doing me a solid, so let me do him a solid. And
yeah,
I can see him grooming these guys. I could definitely see Marcus Morris be. If the Knicks win 40-something games, Marcus Morris might be like, I don't want to get traded. Because think about this. Marcus Morris, I understand he's on the Celtics. That was probably, his best years. It's a very talented team. But he's never really had a team to call his own. And if he had a bunch of young guys playing under him and, damn, he may want minutes. But I don't know. I'm just saying that Marcus Morris being in New York, and if he can so-called bring back that old, New York Knicks toughness, and the Knicks are winning, hey, man.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to find out. Brad, man, who you got, man? Who you have starting at that 3 spot?
Man, it's tough. But to be honest with you, I believe that it would have to go with Marcus Morris, because you pay him so much money, $15 million.
That's true.
Especially for 1 year. I mean, what are you going to do with him for that 1 year? So to me, I feel like having him for that 1 year, he has to be able to show that example to lead for the younger guys, that when he's actually gone, because I don't believe he'll be there for that long term, then Knox can step in and kind of fill in that role that Marcus Morris, left off with.
Yeah. So you too, you believe that he's going to be traded by the deadline?
I do believe so, yeah.
I mean, it only makes. Okay, well, let me ask this, right? Because Marcus Morris makes $15 million a year. He's 30 years old. He's making $15 million this year, not a year. He's making $15 million this year.
Right.
Who are we bringing in for $15 million? Will it make sense if you're not trading Marcus Morris for a player that's going to contribute, right?
Right.
Contribute now and going forward, then unless you're going to be able to bring in some draft picks, I don't know if people are going to give up draft picks for Marcus Morris unless it's a playoff contender that thinks Marcus Morris puts him over the top. That's the only way I see somebody giving up draft picks for him. Not that he's not a good player, but he's 30 years old. Sooner or later, he's going to be on the downside of his career. The next year or two, he's going to be on the downside of his career. So he's the only way that I see someone giving up a draft pick is if it's a contender that thinks he gets them over the top, right?
Right.
What else are you trading for? Unless you're picking up a young player that you really think is going to take you into the future, then you're just trading him to bring in another guy that $15 million a year. You got to match that salary. That salary has to match. I'm sure there's other ways maybe there's ways to make it happen where another team gets a trade exception or something like that. I don't know. You're not going to trade him to help another team clear salary, because if you do that, that means you're taking on salary, right? So you're not going to help another team clear salary because the Knicks are trying to make sure that they have enough cap space in 2021, right? So they're not going to take on salary. The only way I see the Knicks taking on salary is if they're getting a star. Then yes, they'll take on salary. So I just wonder, like, who do we trade Marcus Morris for, and what are we getting for him? The only way I see it is if it's draft picks.
To be honest, I'm on the main goal of developing the young guys. So if Kevin Knox is already in the position where he's able to step into that role of being a starter, you don't want that Marquise Morris being in that way of him being in that starting position. Mm-hmm. Or maybe we could probably use that money for maybe the center position to maybe help Mitch Robinson, because Mitch Robinson, we don't know, he sometimes could be injury prone. Maybe we don't want to make sure that we have a stable big man in the back for him. So I'm not too sure.
Okay, yeah, I mean that makes sense. The Knicks might be trying to pick up Hasheem Thabit. I don't know. I mean, they got him working out. You know what I'm saying? They might be trying to pick up Hasheem Thabit or something. But yeah, I mean, so that's interesting. That's something interesting to think about. I mean, to me, really, the only way I see that he gets traded is if there's a big name out there. Not a big name. I mean, of course, a big name, but a star player that you think is going to take you to another level.
I agree. I agree.
Because we don't want to take on salary if it's not a star.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's something to watch all season long. City for real. Who you got, man? Marcus Morris, Kevin Knox, Iggy, or a surprise person at the 3?
Sam, I can't even say a surprise person, but what I can say is this. It's gonna be hard. You know why? Just because of one simple thing. We got Marcus Morris and we got Kevin Knox. Now, I don't mind Morris starting if it's not gonna run into the potential of Kevin Knox getting his breed in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, mm-hmm. If we start Morris, I'm okay with it, like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want that to run into the development of Knox. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, where we seen Knox, he took some steps up, right? Especially in Summer League. We seen he got more assertive, right? Can I say he was more? Can I say he was more dominant as far as figuring it out when he wanted to take it to the hole? Because last year there was games where we thought, right? I mean, you seen it, we all seen it. Last year we had games where we thought, like, yo, bro, go to the hole, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
brother, take it to the rack, like, you know what I mean? But he didn't, like, you know what I'm saying? This year in summer league, he did do it. So with that being said, for me, it's a toss up. Like, you know, either way, I would be okay with it, just because I want the development of Knox to go well, because I think he can come in and be proven and get himself in there. And then with Morris, like we already said, we already know what we're going to get from him. He's going to play that tough-nosed defense. He's going to give us like 13, 14, 15 points or whatever. So I'm okay with that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's hard for that small forward. It's hard to say. And then the sleeper, of course, we already know, Iggy. He's the sleeper, like, you know what I mean? Because he can do those things. Like, he can take it to the basket, right? We've seen that. He can shoot the three. We've seen that. Now we just need to see if that's gonna transfer over on the NBA court. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if it transfers over on the NBA court, then what are we gonna do with the small forward position is the question.
right.
Like, that's what the real question is if Iggy balls out, right? And let's just say Knox has a couple of bad games, and we already know what we're gonna get from Morris. The question is, what are we gonna do about that small forward spot?
Say that again. The question is what?
The question is, what we gonna do about that small forward spot?
Yeah. Yeah, it all remains to be seen, man, on how this thing is going to work out when it comes to this small forward position. At least we don't have a glut from the start of the season. We do have some other guys, like I said, RJ Barrett, even Frank Ntilikina can play some three. You know,
well, at least it's not a glut like our at least it's not like a glut like our guards are.
Right. Damian Dotson can play three. Right. So we do
Would you put
guys.
Would you put Dot at the three though? Depending on all right, yo, hey Sim, I got one question, right?
All right.
So if we starting, let's just say we starting DSJ and we got RJ at the two. Do you really see Dot at the three?
I mean, he played some three last year. He could play some three. I mean, I don't know if he's a full-time three, though. I'm just saying if Marcus Morris were to get traded, you know, and then Kevin Knox stepped up, you still have a little bit of depth there. You know what I mean? Some guys that
okay. No, I got you. I feel you.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like permanent wise for Dot.
I don't think he's doing that permanently. Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
Let me get around here to Savvy, see if Savvy got his thing working.
What's up? How you doing?
All right, there we go.
Can you hit? All right, here we go.
Good.
Here we are.
So
that's what's up.
So this is what we're gonna do. Just tell me quick who you have starting and why, and then we're gonna move on to the next position. But you'll be the first person I come to when we come back. All right.
Dope. Appreciate that. I believe that we have Marcus Morris starting. Let's just be real. My only question is about how many minutes we're going to put on our 30-year-old, 1 year, $15 million small forward.
Yeah.
It's a time question for me.
Let me see.
It's a time question for me.
He played like 28 minutes last season.
You see, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad if he got 28 and we give Knox 20, and then we let Knox come in for 20 minutes. We let Iggy develop, you know, in scrimmage and and practices, and then we give him a fair shot to take that spot from Kevin Knox if he ever rises up like that. Because Kevin Knox needs to get some of what he's got in terms of the aggression, and Iggy needs to know that his aggression is welcome and that if he uses it the right way, it will be rewarded.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and you know we're gonna get a chance to see how it all works out, how it plays out. But next, what I'm gonna do now, and Savvy, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you so you can talk to the guys. All right, and then I'm gonna go on and we're gonna get on with the rest of the guys that we're gonna talk about. Before I do that, though, I do want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that directly after this show, I'll be on the front stoop, and I did put the link in the YouTube chat so you can subscribe to that channel and join us directly after this. All right, it's gonna be, you know, a dope show. We're talking a lot of hip hop. So if you're into hip hop, join us. If you're not into hip hop, join us anyway. You know what I mean? You just may enjoy it. All right. But next, we're just gonna go over quickly our starting power forward, because we already know who that starter is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. We got the starting power forward. You know who it is. You already know who it is. I don't, you know, so I don't think there's going to be a battle at that position. If anybody disagrees, I welcome the debate. I welcome the conversation. But I doubt there's going to be a battle at this position. Right? So let's go ahead and let's talk about Julius Randle, ladies and gentlemen. Julius Randle is a power forward. He's 6'9", 250 pounds. He was acquired in the 2019 free agency period, and he is the New York Knicks' key free agent this season. For some people, that was a letdown and a disappointment because so many people had their hearts set on Kevin Durant. But I'm going to be honest with you. I was okay. As a matter of fact, you can go back and look at some old videos where I talked about getting Julius Randle and D'Angelo Russell instead of the Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant and Kyrie. I talked about those guys. Some people thought I was crazy. And when the Knicks signed Julius Randle, I was like, oh, it might happen. Somehow, some way, it might happen, but it didn't happen. I would have loved to have those two players. Two young players to go along with our young core. And you know, I think that we would have been able, and then brought in someone like Bradley Beal. I keep talking about Bradley Beal. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Julius Randle, the Knicks' prize free agent this season. Last year, he averaged 21.4 points per game for the New Orleans Pelicans. He averaged 8.7 rebounds per game, 3.1 assists per game, 2.8 turnovers per game. That's something that you hope that he can fix. You know, you don't want him, he doesn't have the ball that much in his hands to average that many turnovers. If your point guard averages 2.8 turnovers but 7 assists a game, kind of like Elfrid Payton does, I think you can kind of take that, right? Because he has the ball in his hands a lot. But if your power forward doesn't have, you know, your power forward isn't facilitating the offense, at least Julius Randle isn't facilitating the offense. You don't want him turning the ball over 3 times a game. I mean, it's not horrible, but I would like less. But it's okay. It's not too bad. He shot 52% from the field, 34% from 3, so he improved his 3-point shooting. He shot more 3-point shots last season and improved his 3-point shooting. So that's definitely a positive. And look, if he's, I'm just going back to the turnovers for a minute. If he's averaging 21 points a game, he's shooting 52% from the field, 8.7 rebounds, I'm not going to argue about the 3 turnovers a game. I'm just saying, but I'm not going to argue about it. I'll be okay. You know, because the rest of the production. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you know, if you're piling hard to the basket, you're going to bounce it off your knee. You're going to get stripped. Those things are going to happen because that is the type of power ball he plays. You know, he's a power guy, a bully ball dude. Last year, Julius Randle acquired these numbers or obtained these numbers or got these numbers by averaging 30.6 minutes per game. I think the most that he's averaged in his career. That 21.4 points per game, he got that on 15 shots per game. The most shots he's ever shot in his career. The most attempts he's ever taken in his career. That sounds a little bit better. And for the Knicks this year, he's going to take even more attempts. Now, the question is going to be, with more attempts, will his efficiency drop? Like, you see it. He's shooting 52% from the field. This year, he'll probably get 18 shots per game. Can he keep his efficiency up? Getting 18 shots per game. And not only that, he's going to be the key player. He's the key. Everyone's keying on him. Everyone is game planning for Julius Randle. We'll see how he reacts to that. Because that's different. Just like it was different for Tim Hardaway Jr. when he came and he was going to be the man. It's going to be different for Julius Randle. Something new. That's okay. That's okay. But something new for him. His strengths. Inside scoring, and he's efficient. He's a beast inside. A beast. I'll say it one more time. He is a beast inside. It's not too many players in the NBA that can stop this man inside the paint. You know what I mean? He's just power. He's straight up power. You know, and now he's extending his game out to the 3-point line. And if he can get that, you know, if he can raise his 3-point shooting up to 36, 37%, maybe his field goal percentage drops a little bit because of twos and there's more game planning and strategizing against them, but he's still shooting 50% from the field. Man, it could be some real trouble. He's a rebounder. You see, he averages 8.7 rebounds per game. I think he can average 10. If he puts his mind to it. He's a willing passer. You see, he averages 3.1 assists per game. He's a willing passer. You know what I mean? On a fast break, he can pass. You get the ball to him in the post, he can pass out the post. You know, you always want guys that are going to be willing passers. His weaknesses, defense. He's got to become a better defender. He has the ability, the strength, the speed, the power. He has all of that. He's got to do it on a defensive end. That's what separates these guys, man. Really, it does. It really separates these guys from being your, you know, regular fringe all-star or all-star caliber player to being an all-star player that makes the team every single year. You know what I mean? A perennial all-star player. It's that defense. A lot of guys in the NBA can score the ball, man. That defense really does, it takes you up to another level. And to have the mindset to play defense on every possession. Look, everybody, even LeBron. Well, LeBron does it a lot nowadays, but even back then, even back when he was 26, he took defensive possessions off. It's going to happen when you are the man on your team because you have a lot of stress on your body. You have a lot of responsibility. You're going to take a possession or two off. It's going to happen. People can say, oh, no possessions off, all of this and all of that. It's going to happen. I don't care what nobody says because you got a lot of pressure and stress on your body, and you might need that mental break for a second, for a play or two, and then you get back into it. You know what I mean? Some guys that are all-stars or they're fringe all-stars, you know, or all-star caliber, they take more than just a play or two off. You know what I mean? They take the whole game off on the defensive side of the floor. So that separates him. We need him to step his defense up this year. And then there's some questions about his basketball IQ, which could lead to the turnovers. You know what I mean? So, look, in my opinion, man, there's There's no question about it. Julius Randle is going to be the starting power forward for the New York Knicks. You know what I mean? I would beg for somebody to tell me differently. I don't think anybody will. I don't think there's any question that he's going to be the starting power forward. I'm going to jump in the video chat real quick. This doesn't really need to be too long of a conversation. So I just want to find out from you. Is there anybody in the video chat that differs? Savvy, I'm going to start with you. Talking about Julius Randle in the starting power forward position.
Yeah, he's got it, buddy. He's our guy. We went out. He's our big free agent. People are acting like he's a slouch or something, out there. But he's gonna be the guy. He's gonna start. No one's gonna start at the power forward ahead of him. And if we do small ball, then I could see him possibly rotating to the 5 in that small ball event. But I would like to have Mitch there. I don't think he's going to rotate to any other position and play positionless at all. I think he's going to stay at the power forward, and then we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with, guys like, Portis and Gibson, But he's starting for sure.
Let me ask you this.
What's up?
You just talked about that playing a small lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you see in that? If you have Julius Randle at the 5 in a small lineup, which is possible with the way the NBA plays nowadays, who else do you see in that lineup, in that kind of a small lineup?
Well, we could put him at the 5, but let's be real. If we're gonna do something like that, we probably put Portis at the 5, right? But we could have him at the 5. We could have Marcus Morris at the 4. We could have Knox at the 3, and then we go down the line. We could end up with DSJ at the 1, and then at the 2 we'd probably do RJ, or we do the other dude we was talking about yesterday. Like, I don't know why I can't name my own players. Yes.
Who?
Yes.
Who?
Ellington. Sorry. Yeah, you can't hear. You can't hear what he's saying in there.
Okay.
So it would go DSJ, Ellington. It would go Knox. It would go Randle, and then we would just do Mitch. I wouldn't want anybody. Well, no. It would go Morris. It would go Morris, and then it would go Randle at the 5.
Okay.
Small ball lineup.
Small ball. All right. So this is what I'm gonna do. Does anybody have anything that they really want to say about Julius Randle starting at that power forward spot, or anybody think he's not gonna start there? Because if anybody has any objections there, then we could just go on. All right, because where the real conversation comes in is the starting center position, and then the backup power forward position. Who plays where? This is where we really start to get into kind of a glut with these forwards, right? And there was a lot of stuff in the media all over the place about how the Knicks signed so many power forwards to the team. And you're going to see right now where this glut actually does come into play. Right? So we're going to take a look at this now and see if we can we're going to see if we can work this out. Because there's definitely a lot of, I don't want to say there's necessarily a duplication of players. That is one thing. When you look at the players we're about to talk about, there's not a lot of duplication of players. They all do something different, which is a good thing and a smart thing. And this is the first time I actually really recognized that they all do something different to play a role. So let's take a look at them. Talking about the center position in the backup power forward battle. You got Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis, and you got Mitch Robinson. Right? There's a lot of argument about whether or not Mitch should be starting. Can he start? Whatever, you know. You guys know what my position has been about Mitch Robinson starting. I'm not against Mitch Robinson starting. It's just, you know, I think he needs a little bit of time to grow as a player, but it's all good. You know what I mean? It's all good. All right, let's get to it. We'll start off with Mitchell Robinson in that center position, and let me bring myself onto the screen, and here I am. All right, Mitchell Robinson. He was drafted last year by the Knicks, 36th pick in the second round of the 2018 draft. And he was a guy that, you know, he was coveted by a few teams at that, around that late first round, early second round. The Knicks were fortunate to get him. He's a center, 7'1", 240 pounds, super athletic. We'll talk about those strengths and weaknesses. You know, Mitchell Robinson, it's amazing. Listen, it is amazing what he did last year. Without playing for an entire year, and most people, including myself, thought that he was going to need time in the G League, didn't play a lick. He didn't even step foot in the Westchester Community Center. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to Mitch Robinson for that. Last year, Mitch Robinson averaged 7.3 points per game, 6.4 rebounds per game, 2.4 blocks per game, 0.5 turnovers per game. Now, he doesn't have the ball in his hand a whole lot, but when he did get the ball in his hands, you know, he took care of it. He shot 69% from the field. And for three, you know, he didn't shoot threes. So that's why you don't have anything there. But he shot 69% from the field. You know, most of his points were off of putbacks, alley-oops. You know, that's what that's Mitch. And he did this last season, 20.6 minutes per game. And in the beginning of the season, he wasn't really playing much. He didn't get that much playing time. So, you know, he got in shape. He needed to get his confidence up a little bit. Even from the beginning of the season, you could see he needed to get his confidence up. We had a caller one time, or maybe it was, I don't remember who it was. You know, who said, you know, maybe Mitch Robinson was feeling himself a little bit. I disagreed with him. I feel like, you know, he wasn't feeling himself. I feel like his personality was just coming out because he's kind of a shy guy. At least from the beginning, he was kind of a shy dude, you know. But that's his numbers, and he did it on 20.6 minutes per game. We're expecting Mitch Robinson to be between 25 and 28 minutes per game this season. That's what I expect. I don't know that Mitch Robinson is ready to go 35 minutes a game. You know, I mean, it's not that he couldn't. He can be out there and get up and down the floor for 35 minutes. Yes, he can. But I think if you start to get that high right now with Mitch Robinson, you got to build that endurance. You're starting to get diminishing returns. That's what I think. You know, so 25 to 28 minutes per game is where I think Mitch Robinson will settle in for the season. There'll be some games where he does play 30-something minutes. You know, when he's on his way to getting 10 blocks or something like that. Let's look at his strengths. First and foremost, he's a shot blocker, a great weak side shot blocker. Really good at it. If he averages 25 to 28 minutes, expect him to be somewhere around 3 to 3.5 blocks per game. Maybe even leading the league in blocks. Who knows? He can defend guards on switches. He does a good job of when he switches off, backing up a little bit and then using his length. He does a really good job doing that. You know what I mean? Which, you know, sometimes is trouble for opposing guards because he can give space, but he's still long enough to be defending him with his arms. And of course, you see him block 3-point shots on a regular basis. I don't know if there's another center in the league that can do that. And he does it without fouling. And that shows that he's got good agility. He's able to land on his toes. He's agile. And he's super athletic, right? The guy's super athletic. And, I didn't add this in here, but he's athletic. He has decent enough footwork. He still flails like he's, a little uncoordinated. I don't know if he's truly uncoordinated, but, his arms kind of flail like that a little bit. But he's got good footwork. And I believe that one day he will be able to knock down that outside shot. He hasn't really pulled those outside shots in the game, not even in Summer League. But as he grows and his confidence gets higher, I believe that he'll be able to knock those outside shots down. Weaknesses. Limited offensively. We're just talking about that outside shot. He doesn't have too much to his offensive game. He doesn't post up. He doesn't pull the outside shot. He's not going to take you off the dribble. Right now, with Mitch Robinson is just straight up putbacks and alley-oops. Pick and roll to the basket. He bites on pump fakes, especially on the perimeter. We talked about how he can go out and he can defend guards on switches, right? And he also blocks shots from the, blocks that three-point shot. Well, he's also vulnerable to pump fakes. He'll bite on a pump fake, which not just on the perimeter, but also down low, which in turn leads to fouls or leads to open layups or open shots or, whatever. You know what I mean? It's natural for a guy his age who blocks shots to bite on pump fakes. It is a natural thing that you just got to learn that body control. Right now, he blocks shots and he goes for weak side blocks. It's all instinct. It's instinct. He's got to learn that body control. Then he gets in foul trouble, and a lot of that is because he bites on fakes. But also a lot of it is because he doesn't have a lot of strength, upper body, lower body strength yet. You know what I mean? So he's trying to bump and push so that he can play good defense, but then refs call it, because it looks, it just looks like a foul. Because he's trying to be a little more aggressive down there. Once he gets a little bit stronger, I believe those fouls will go away. Next person up the bat, Bobby Portis. The Knicks picked up Bobby Portis in free agency this year. He's a power forward mainly, but he can play center. He's 6'11", 250 pounds. All right, let's take a look at Bobby Portis. Mr. Bug-Eye, Bobby Portis. Last season, he averaged 14.2 points per game, and that's split in time between Chicago and the Washington Wizards. He averaged 8.1 rebounds per game, 0.4 blocks per game, and that's an issue. We'll talk about that. That's an issue. 1.6 turnovers. He shot 44% from the field and 39% from three, and he did that last season on 26 minutes per game. When I mention these minutes because, it's just worth saying. You got to, these guys are used to a certain amount of minutes. And the question is, are we going to be able to find minutes for them? Let's look at the strengths and weaknesses. Bobby Portis. Strengths. He can shoot it from three. You see it. He knocks it down 39%. If you go on YouTube, you look at some video of Bobby Portis, he can light it up. He can light it up and knock it out. Knock it down. He can play in the pick and roll and pick and pop. Now when he rolls to the basket, he's not going to be skying above the rim. That's not his game. But he can roll to the basket and you get it, boom, he pounded in for a layup. And obviously he can run that pick and pop, either pick and pop from the mid-range or pick and pop from the three-point line. All right, so he's effective in both of them. He's a fiery guy. He's got a high motor. It's another one of those guys like Iggy. He's got a high motor. You need those guys on the floor. You know what I mean? You need those guys on the floor. And of course, people are going to remember when he punched his teammate in the face and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think that was an outlier. I don't think that's him. I think it was an outlier. I think he's finally, if you look and you read some of the stuff about Bobby Portis, he's finally believing and understanding and knowing how to take care of his body. And he's putting in the work to be a better player. The good thing about Bobby Portis is he doesn't mind coming off the bench. He doesn't mind it at all. So his weaknesses: rim protection. He's got a 7'1" wingspan, 6'11", 7'1" wingspan, and he doesn't block shots. Averages less than a half a block per game. That is an issue, right? Because you would at least like for him to be able to get one block a game. He should. I mean, look, it's not in his game. That's not what he does. And this is where things could be a problem for the Knicks, because we only have one guy that can protect the rim. When he's not on the floor, we don't have anyone else that can protect the rim. Bobby Portis isn't going to do that. And Bobby Portis may be playing backup center. He can get out of control. He can lose, and I don't mean out of control, fighting people. I mean, he can get out of control with the ball in his hands, trying to do certain things. We'll see if he's grown. We'll see if he's grown. All right. But that's Bobby Portis, ladies and gentlemen. Another forward. Now, you can see the difference between him and Mitchell Robinson. Right? Mitchell Robinson is a shot blocker. He's longer. Catch oops to the basket. More of your defensive type of center. Bobby Portis is an offensive kind of power forward / center. He can spread the floor and shoot it from three. He can score a little bit better. He has a little, more versatile in his scoring. I mean, Mitchell Robinson isn't versatile in his scoring at all, because all he can do is get your putbacks and dunks off of pick and roll and alley-oops. Bobby Portis can shoot it from three, do the pick and roll, pick and pop. So you can see the difference in players. All right. Next person up the bat, Taj Gibson, New York native. Taj Gibson. He's glad to be back in New York. Pretty sure fans are glad to have him back in New York. He's a power forward first / center, because he can play backup center, has played backup center, and is willing to play backup center. He's 6'9", 232 pounds. The Knicks acquired him in free agency this year. Last season, Taj Gibson averaged 10.8 points per game, 6.5 rebounds per game, 0.6 blocks per game, and we'll talk about that. 1 turnover. He shot 56% from the field and 32% from three. Now, he is kind of a versatile scorer, but he can, he mainly scores inside, but he can score from different areas in that mid-range, around the basket, in the mid-range a little bit. You see, he can knock down an occasional three, shoots 32%. He did his work last season on 24 minutes per game. I don't know if he's going to get 24 minutes per game with the Knicks. He may be somewhere around 15. I don't know if he's getting 24. You get nights when maybe Mitchell Robinson is in foul trouble, or Bobby Portis isn't hitting, or we just need somebody to keep us sane on the floor. Maybe you see Taj get some more minutes. Strengths with Taj Gibson. He's an experienced vet. That's going to be his role on the team. The experienced vet. The guy that's been there and done that. The steady guy. Your insurance policy. That's what he's going to be. He's the old wisdom guy. Offensive rebound. The guy can rebound. He can rebound the ball on the offensive side of the floor. And you always need offensive rebounding, especially when you got guys, and we don't know what they're going to do this year yet, but when you got guys like Frank Ntilikina, Elfrid Payton, Dennis Smith Jr., who's had a hard time shooting the ball from the field, you got to have some offensive rebounders. And as Cantor was that guy for his last season, for the time that he was here. We'll see if Taj Gibson, we'll see how much time Taj Gibson gets when he's playing, and if he's that guy for us this year. Right? He can score inside. Right? Post, putbacks, pick and roll. He can knock down the mid-range a little bit. I think he can still. I think he'll still get maybe 10 points per game. Hopefully, he can still get around 6 rebounds per game. It's gonna be less minutes, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's 8-4, 8-5, something like that. Because he is gonna get less minutes, I believe. Weaknesses: declining defense. Taj Gibson used to be one of the top 10 defenders in the league. He's getting older. He's 34 years old. His defense is declining. He used to average about 1.4 blocks per game. Now he's down to less than a block per game. So yes, he can play defense, but it is in decline, and we'll see how much more it's in decline coming into this season. And he's, like I said, he's not a shot blocker, but he may play center. He may be the backup center. We're going to see how that all works out when they get on the floor together. All right. So, my question, ladies and gentlemen, who you got? Who you got? Who's your starting center? Who's your backup power forward? And then who's the guy, this is the way that I see it. See it happening. I believe Mitchell Robinson is going to be the starting center. Listen how I said it. I believe he is going to be the starting center. I don't mind it at all. Okay? I don't mind it at all. And then I believe Bobby Portis is going to be the backup power forward. Taj Gibson will be the backup center, but those guys can kind of switch back and forth depending on whoever is on the floor. You see what I'm saying? Depending on who's on the floor, they can switch back and forth and play whoever. So you tell me who you got. You got Mitch Robinson, who's likely going to be the starting center. You got Bobby Portis, who could play some center. And listen, if he was the starting center, keep in mind what I was talking about earlier when we were talking about spreading the floor. Keep that in mind. But the thing about Bobby Portis, he's not a shot blocker. That means a lot. You got to have a rim protector, which is the reason why most people would like to put Mitchell Robinson in that starting spot. And then you got Taj Gibson, right? Old man Rivers, Taj Gibson, the guy with all the wisdom. Who you got, ladies and gentlemen? Who do you have as your starting center, your backup 4, your backup 5? I want to know. Let me know who you got. All right? And then after this, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna talk about who you got, why you got them there, and then we're gonna get over to the front stoop, and we're gonna talk some hip hop. And do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post on my community section. So please do that right now. Listen, summer camp, training camp is right around the corner. We're just 10 days away, 9 days away now because it's September the 21st, 9 days away. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribe to that channel right now. Ring that notification bell so that you can be ready. All right, let's get to these guys here. I got a phone call coming. Let me get to my man, Tony Crow. Tony Crow, what's popping, brother? How you feeling?
What's going on, son?
I'm
Shout
chilling,
out to the
man.
chat. Yo, Blackest Time.
I'm chilling. I'm doing good, man.
Where you at right now?
So right now we're talking about the center position. And the center position, we know Julius Randle is going to be the power forward. Who's the backup power forward? Who's the backup center? Like I was saying, is Mitch will probably be the starting center, and then Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson to be the backup center / power forward, and then they'll kind of guard whatever matchup is best. What do you think?
I got two. All right. I really like the idea of going with the veterans starting and bringing the youth off the bench.
Okay.
So if we do something like Peyton, Ellington, Morris, Randall, and then you could go one of two ways. You could either throw Portis at center, or you could start who's the other kid from New York? Taj. Or you could start Taj. So if you start Taj, then that puts Portis to back up Randle.
Okay.
And I said the only way you do that is if you're comfortable with Knox getting minutes at the 4.
Right.
If you think Knox is strong enough to play the 4, then he could be the backup 4.
Yeah.
But I think it's because Taj could start and still play 10 minutes a game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And see that's where the thing is, man. Like what you're saying is what I feel about Mitch. And people, for whatever reason, they think I'm hating on Mitch. People say I got an agenda about Mitch Robinson. I don't have no agenda against Mitchell Robinson. You know what I mean? I just think he needs a little bit more time to grow into the position. And you got some vets that just know how to do it, like a Taj Gibson. That even though, like you said, he can play 10 to 15 minutes. He can start, but only play 10 to 15 minutes. But, he just kind of knows how to do it, knows how to, kind of get the game started. You know what I'm saying? And get some things established. And if Taj is only getting, like Augustine Richardson says, Taj does the dirty work inside. Mitchell Robinson is not going to be able to be as aggressive and physical as Taj, not at this stage in his career. Yes, he can block shots. He can block shots, but one thing that's going to start happening beginning this year is teams are going to strategize against him blocking shots. And teams are going to look at what he does, and they're going to instruct everyone, pump fake, get him in the air, jump into him, get the foul. Right? That's going to happen. That's going to happen. I feel like Mitchell Robinson can playing against other guys that's coming off the bench. I feel like he can maybe produce more. You know what I mean? I feel like you can maximize his.
I agree, and he could come in and immediately change the game.
Yeah,
both offensively and defensively, because immediately he's changing shots, whether he's blocking them or not, and immediately he's a lob threat, and he runs like a gazelle. So, yeah, I really like that idea. Like, I'm not against Mitch starter.
Me either.
But I really like that idea of playing the vets in the beginning of the game, starting and then just coming with youth, and the youth should be playing against other youth now, second unit, if that's the case.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just think it benefits us early.
Yeah. And
if we make adjustments along the way, so be it.
Right. And then there's something to be said. I seen somebody in the chat, Alan Dwart said, Bobby Portis. I just seen him say Bobby Portis. I don't know if he meant that Bobby Portis should be starting. But as I was saying earlier, we really do have to look at these lineups. Because look, Tony, if we start, let's say we start Dennis Smith Jr. at the 1, R.J. Barrett at the 2, Marcus Morris at the 3, Julius Randle at the 4, Mitchell Robinson at the 5. Where are we getting any space? Like, who's spreading the floor? Unless Dennis Smith Jr. comes out and this 3-point, he's really fixed his shot, he's knocking it down. Who's spreading the floor? Where are we getting space? That's why I feel like there's going to be a guy or two that surprises people as a starter. I feel like that could happen. It could be Wayne Ellington starting at the 2. It could be Bobby Portis at the 5. Simply because, and I know people probably cringing right now because I said Bobby Portis at the 5, right? But the reason why I'm saying that is because he can spread the floor, and you got to have some lanes. Mitch doesn't spread the floor right now. Right now, he doesn't spread the floor. So there could be one of these guys could be a surprise starter. You know what I mean? So that's where we have to. That's
why I like Taj and then Portis running with the young guy, running with Mitchell because Portis could spread the floor, which means Mitch doesn't have to.
Mhm.
The same way Randle could spread the floor, where Taj doesn't have to. So nobody's getting in nobody's way. It's a bunch of space. You got a shooter on the floor now. Yeah, and that also prevents Knox from playing more minutes at the 4.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think he's better shooter at the 3.
Yeah. So that, and you know, that's part of the issue with even though we picked up some players and we're kind of deep, all of the players, like I said, if you look at the 4 players that we have at the power forward and center positions, all of them do something a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Julius Randle is a power guy that could, he can score from all over the floor. Bobby Portis is basically a 3-and-D stretch 4. I don't want to say 3. Well, he's not really a defender, so I don't want to say 3-and-D. But he's a stretch 4.
That's one thing I wanted to tell you too. He actually is a good on-ball defender.
On-ball defender, yeah. Yeah. You're right.
And he could guard the perimeter. You know what I mean? He could guard going to the basket. He's just not a shot blocker.
A shot blocker, yeah.
I think him playing center I think he would be a better shot blocker playing center than playing power forward because he's actually chasing guys down and he's playing on ball defense. If he's playing center, he'll be playing more in the paint defense. And I've seen him block shots in the paint. It's just he's not there often.
It's not there.
You know what I mean? He's usually around the perimeter guarding people driving to the basket, stuff like that.
Right. So if you think if he's guarding more centers, because see, what Mitch Robinson does really well is get those weak side
help
blocks. You know what I mean? I don't know if, I'm sure Bobby Portis can do it. If he put his mind to it, he probably can. We'll see. But like for Mitchell Robinson, it's a natural thing. I don't know if it's a natural thing for Bobby Portis to do it, but he is a good on-ball defender.
Yeah.
So
I'm knocking too.
Yeah, so that's going to be that right there is what's going to be. All of those 4 players: Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis. They all do something a little bit different. They all bring something different to the game, which is why, you're probably going to be able to find minutes for each of them because they all do something a little bit different. But then it also does show the weakness of a team, when you got to say, well, we need shot blocking so we can only put Mitch in. We need 3-point shooting from one of those from the 4 or the 5, so we can only put Portis in. Maybe you can do a little bit of Julius Randle. I guess Taj can, he's at like 32%, so he's not adept. He's not just like done in terrible.
Yeah, he'll shoot it if you leave him open.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's gonna be something to look at for sure. Definitely gonna be something to look at. But hey, big shout out City for real. Thank you for the super chat, man. Said shout out to the chat. He said get this man to 10K. Almost there, man. We we're at like 9,300. I think we'll be at 10K early October. I believe so, because once training camp hits, things gonna pick up real heavy. Hey Tony, man, I'm gonna get to these guys in the video chat.
No doubt.
I'm gonna get to the front stoop.
I'm knocking too.
What'd you say?
I said I'm knocking.
Oh, all right, bet. Peace.
Go Black is top.
Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get to the video chat, find out what these guys are thinking. Hey, find out what these guys are thinking. And Savvy, give me 1 second. Come to you. All right. Go ahead, Savvy.
What's up? All right. So now we get to the interesting part, right? We get down to the end of the roster. Who's gonna play in these last 2 positions? I think also that it's going to be Mitch and it's going to be it's going to be a rotation of Taj and Portis to a lesser extent. My thing is, I really wish it could be the other way around. Like, I feel like Portis, I feel like the things that stop him from being a true five is all mental. I wish it could be different because he's got the physical makeup to do it. He's 6'11". He's got 10 pounds on Mitch.
Right. 6'11", 10 pounds on Mitch. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, wouldn't it be great if he could do that? But like you said, he could, score. He could do a lot for us at the 4. So I don't mind him rotating off like that. But I am concerned about the diminishing defense of Taj as a rotation piece into there. So I'm not going to say too much in speculation about how the rotations are going to go. I'm just gonna say that he's going to start, and Mitch is going to be fine. I just think a good minutes limitation for him. Make sure he's not getting too flimsy out there. Make sure he doesn't get beat up too much. I could be happy with that if we give Mitch 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I think
that could be the thing.
I think Mitch will be between 25 and 28 minutes, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. I think he's going to be between there. With Taj Gibson,
minutes?
I think the key with Taj Gibson, we talk about his declining defense. I think the key to that is going to be limited minutes.
Yeah.
Right? If you're keeping him to 10 to 15 minutes a game, he was getting 24 minutes per game last year. If you're keeping him to 10 to 15 minutes, now he can come in and play hard defense for those 10 to 15 minutes and then, sit back down on the bench and you keep him fresh. You know what I mean?
All
So
right.
when you get later into the season and maybe some of our young players are starting to hit a wall, now Taj Gibson is ready to go because he knows how to pace himself and he knows how to get it done at that point in the season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Once we hit like January, February.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Okay, so let's say we got Mitch in there for 28 minutes. We got Taj in there for 10 minutes. Who's taking that other 10 minutes?
You say you got Mitch in there for 28, Taj in there for 10. So what position is that? Is that the center position?
Yes.
I think Bobby Portis probably plays some of that because he's going to play power forward too, Bobby Portis, and then he probably plays a few minutes at the center spot too.
Right. Yeah, I would like that. I would really love to see a future where Portis can emerge and then really at least carry a good share of the load at the 5. I really believe that would be dope to see because I would like to keep that height. I want to keep that height on the 5, and he's got the weight. He could score. We don't necessarily need a 5 that's going to rain shots like that, but it wouldn't hurt. Listen,
right.
I'll take it. If he could just block some shots, that would be excellent.
Yeah. All right.
But that's my piece.
Let me get around to Guillermo. Coming to you, man.
Yeah, with the whole thing, and just to laugh a thing real quick. So, thank God we don't have many power forwards because yes, Julius Randle should get the what's saying, but against him, Mitchell Robinson got to prove himself. I think everybody should have to prove themselves regardless if they got a contract or not, or even if there's a dirt since we have so many forwards and big guys. But, I ain't going to get on you too much. But, yes, I do think Mitchell Robinson should start because it's not just because I think he's shown and proved that, this is a budding talent. He's come a long way from being foul prone. Jumping off his feet too much, even though, he kind of went back to, I think he learned a lot from DJ, but he compliments Randle well. I would say one thing, I wish Mitch Robinson can shoot a little bit more, shoot period, because Julius Randle worked really well with AD when he's playing with him. Let me not say really well, but played well with,
right.
paired well with him because AD can space out the floor, and Julius Randle likes to stay around that box area if he's not playing around the foul line or around a three. But his best area is around that foul line and around the lower paint area. And Mitchell Robinson's going to need that space. But the thing about it is that Julius Randle, many times, especially just on the rebounding end, yes, he averages 8.9, but the rebounds are more like the ball's coming off a shot, he catches a defensive rebound, and then he's dribbling, he's bringing up the ball. Like, that's more so where his rebounds are. He's not a rugged offensive rebounder. And I think that, I don't know Mitch Robinson's offensive rebounding numbers, but you're going to need somebody down there to at least have a body down there. Somebody go box out, someone who kind of play that, the dirty game. Two defenders might get on him and maybe the ball comes free or whatever after, he's drawn all that attention. So I think just because he plays such a complimentary game to Julius Randle's game, that he has to come out and start. And I think that this lineup, you need a good mix of veterans and young guys, right? You can't have a bunch of guys who are just veterans and it's like, Fizdale's just like, yeah, this is guys I'm going with, or you guys, sit back, and because that can really destroy the morale of a team. So again, I think that you have a good mix. I think RJ should be at the 2, but I think a guy like Mitchell being at the 5 and him being fiery, a guy who, he's going to ignite the crowd, ignite the team when he plays, that defense, jumping out to the 3-point line, blocking somebody. That's the type of stuff that really invigorates a team. So, he's definitely going to play the 5. I started at 5, and I think Portis, because of his face-up game, he plays better probably coming off the bench. He's not a tough, rugged defender whatsoever. He's not a ridiculously good rebounder or anything of that nature. I think he's the type of guy you're going to play a lot of pick and pop with him. And I think that second unit, which is weird because I think Trier should be coming off the bench, but Trier might become more as a 2. So you have a more of a facilitating 1, I guess, coming off the bench. That could bode really well, with a lineup of say Frank is coming off the bench. He's going to facilitate him, Trier, and then a big guy like Portis, who likes that pick and pop spacing out the front to basket game. That could be a really good second unit. So those are my choices in terms of center.
And see, who you named as the starters, that's who I think is going to be the starters too. RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, I think they're probably going to be the starters. But like I said, don't be surprised, and I'm not going to be surprised if one of these guys, Bobby Portis or Wayne Ellington, is in those starting positions. Because, like I said, if DSJ hasn't really improved his 3-point shot, RJ Barrett isn't knocking it down from 3, which I don't expect him to be really, really good from 3. Then obviously Mitch Robinson doesn't shoot 3. The only person that would be in the lineup that can really spread the floor would be Marcus Morris. And you're going to need some people that can spread the floor to open up those lanes. So
I agree with you, Simon. And that's what I said with Wayne Ellington too, and I got killed for it. I said that Wayne Ellington, people are like, oh, how can you start? But it's like, it's not necessarily that Wayne Ellington's dynamic, but when you get a guy that what you're getting, you know what the floor is, it allows your game plan to come off to be executed a lot more easier. And I agree with you. And one last thing before we go to anybody else, the Taj Gibson thing, again, people talk about the minutes and stuff, and I think that Taj Gibson knows, look, this is probably the end near the end of my career. What the Knicks have to do right now, what Fizdale and Perry are doing right now, I don't count Steve Mills. Steve Mills is like the CIA. He works for Dolan. But, Scott Perry and Fizdale, what they're doing right now is that they're trying to build up goodwill with players, right? So Taj Gibson, Marcus Morris, they want these guys to go around the league and be like, yo, James Dolan might be a head case. And, maybe he's stopping his head caseness or whatever you want to call it. But Fizdale and Perry, those are stand-up guys. Look, I wasn't getting any deals around, blah, blah, blah. But they gave me, this contract, 20 million for 2 years. You know what I mean? 1 year for $15 million. They're guys that want to do right by players coming in. And I think that they're trying to erase all the bad will that Dolan and, Phil Jackson created. So when you see these guys and say, it's not more so about minutes. It's more so about these guys, one, the goodwill thing, and also what they can teach the younger guys. I think some of these guys are going to be traded or they're not going to really be in the plan. So we have to look at it from a bigger picture versus, are they going to play a lot of minutes,
Yeah, I feel you. And I'm looking in the chat and I see in the chat, who is it? Miles Boyd, G. Andrezzi said, Ellington will never start. Ellington ain't starting. All I'm saying is,
Lord,
we'll wait and see. I mean, try to understand the reasons why. Listen, Ellington started. Ellington got 27, 28 minutes on a much better team than the New York Knicks last year. You know what I'm saying? He's 31 years old. He didn't come to the Knicks to ride the bench to get 5 minutes a game. He didn't do that. He's in the prime of his career. Now, whenever you say something like that, Guillermo, you say, not you, but you say so-and-so is in the prime of their career. They think, oh, what are you saying? He's an all-star? The prime of someone's career doesn't have to be an all-star. Whatever his prime is what his prime is. So he's in the prime of his career. He's playing the best basketball of his career, played the most minutes of his career, right? Do you think right in his prime he's going to go say, okay, now I'm going to sit the end of the bench? No.
Right.
That'd be stupid. Right? That'd just be dumb. You know what I mean?
And the prime of your career is when, and this is from Chronicles of Judah, if anybody follows him. I don't want to take his stuff, but it was brilliant. He said that the prime of your career is when your mental and your physical peaks come together, where you understand the game on that type of level. So yeah, I agree with you, Simba. Again, when people say when people get on me or you about Ellington, it's not that Ellington's going to be playing 40 minutes a night. They think that when you are a starter, you're playing all these. You could be a starter and literally play 15 minutes a night. What you're doing is that you're setting the table. You know what I mean? Like Kurt Thomas, before Camby, it wasn't like Kurt Thomas was a great player, but you knew what you're going to get with Kurt Thomas, right? So you had Sprewell, you had Houston, all these guys, but what Kurt Thomas brought you was consistency. You know what that's why Popovich has such a great system, because there are guys that ran through Popovich's system that you look up and be like, why the hell is he starting? But it's like they gave you a consistency. You knew what the game plan was like. They set the picks. They played the defense. They did the small things that kind of magnified or allowed the better players to do what they wanted. So stop looking at it as Wayne Ellington's going to play 40 minutes. If he goes out there, say RJ Barrett goes out there, he's shell-shocked or, he's not ready yet or whatever, right? And you have guys like Dotson, he's not healthy yet with the shoulder thing. Trier. You're going to need somebody to go in there and create calm. You're going to need somebody to go out there and compliment the other guys. And it may just be that, all right, now RJ Barrett knows how Ellington plays. Dotson knows how Ellington plays. He knows, all right, when this set runs, I'm supposed to be in this spot versus I'm near the center or I'm near the point guard, blah, blah, and there's a lot of confusion. So, again, this is a table-setting year for Fizdale. Fizdale has to create his culture, most importantly, and he also has to create a system. Guys like Wayne Ellington are system players, and he's trying to get these talented guys who are very raw within a system. So it's a teaching year for a lot of these kids. Like, don't write off Ellington starting out. He might even start for the whole year. He might just start out for 10, 15 games, and then he might slowly bring some of the young guys around.
Right. Yeah.
People say Ellington would have started any team. Forget it. My bad, sir. Keep going. I ain't gonna keep going this, man. You go with somebody else.
They said Ellington came for the contract. I mean, I agree. He probably did, but that doesn't mean he doesn't want minutes. You know what I'm saying? So,
and who cares? Hey, look, we need goodwill. If you guys, for all you NBA 2K NBA fans, the ones who want Giannis, the ones who want AD, when these players move around, like Cantor said, which I don't disagree with, these guys talk to each other. Their agents talk to each other. Or some of these guys play for this or sign under the same agent. Who cares if Wayne Ellington came here? He's coming here for a 1-and-1. It's not my money. It's not your money. He's literally coming here, and I
think what they're saying is what they're saying is, he doesn't really care if he plays or not. He came here for he came here because it was a big.
No, that's right. And I'm saying fine, good that he came here. So when he goes around, he might give a good word to somebody who knows Giannis, and Giannis that might build up. He'd be like, oh, let me go to the Knicks, and then finally, all you guys would be happy. So we have to look at it from just a bigger perspective than just playing, man. But yeah. Let me not keep going.
All right, let me get over here. City. Who you got at that starting center spot, man? And back.
Hey, so starting center, I want to say we got to go with Mitch, but at the same time, I do want to say this though, right? We got to talk about what everybody does in every sport. Conditioning. What is his conditioning gonna be? Logging all of those starting minutes, like, you know what I'm saying? when we talk about those tall, lanky guys or whatever, you know, like what Mitch is, in every sport, they take those guys and they are, we talking about basketball. I can't really say all the other guys are limited to minutes, but what I'm saying is conditioning. Is his conditioning going to be up to par to hold the load for the starting job as far as being a starting center?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, I would not be surprised if Taj gets the starting center role, depending on what team we play, right? And what the matchups are going to be. Now, I don't know what Fizz's thing is going to be with coaching wise, but I do believe with the team that we have, we got a lot of vets and we got a lot of young guys. And I don't think we're going to see a real consistent starting lineup maybe until the middle of the season. I think things are going to flip-flop around like it was last year. You know what I'm saying? Depending on like injuries and all of that stuff like that. But I do think things are going to flip-flop around, and the guys are there's going to be interchangeable parts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to see, let's just say we're going to see DSJ starting point guard couple of games depending on matchups. We're going to see Peyton starting point guard couple of matchups. We're going to see RJ at the shooting guard couple of games, you know, and vice versa. We're going to see Trayer going in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think we're just going to see a lot of flip-flopping around with our lineup, and I don't really think we're going to have anything set in stone because we have so many vets until the trade deadline comes and we shed off some of the veterans.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
But that's what I got for it.
All right. And then I'm gonna come to what's his name? Bradman. Going to Bradman. Then I'm gonna come to Tony real quick, and then we're gonna head up off and get to the front stoop. Bradman, what do you think, man?
We're talking about the center position?
Yep.
It has to be Mitchell Robinson. That's our main focal point, and we'll have Taj Gibson coming into the backup position for that center spot.
Okay. And who'd you say back up for the center spot?
Taj Gibson.
Taj Gibson, and then you're gonna keep Bobby Portis at the 4.
At the 4, yeah. And you know, I think I heard on Instagram the other day that Bobby Portis was willing to come off the bench, so he was not looking for that starting role. So he looked like he wanted to become that 6th man of the year coming from the Knicks.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: we mentioned it earlier. Any chance Hasheem Thabit ends up a Knick?
I'm not too sure, man. I don't think so, man.
I don't think so either. I don't really want Hasheem Thabit to be a Knick. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. I don't want him to be a Knick, but who knows what can happen? Who knows what can happen? Because we do need another guy sometime in the future. Maybe that's going to be Kenny Wooten. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's going to be him. But we need another guy that can block shots, either from the power forward or the center spot, one of those two. And maybe that's going to be Kenny Wooten sometime in the future.
Could be, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. But hey, man, I'm going to get to Tony Crow, and then I'm heading over to the front stoop. You can join us there. We're going to talk some hip-hop. You know what I'm saying?
All right, cool. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And Tony, you want to take us out of here real quick?
I stand on what I said on the phone. I stand by what I said on the phone. I think we go with the vets, and then let the youth run rapid.
Okay. All right, man. Well, hey, I'm about to head on over to the front stoop, man. So I'll catch you there. All right.
No doubt.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for being on with me. You know what I mean? And I put in the chat, I put a link to the front stoop in the chat. And as soon as I get off of here, give me 10 minutes and I'm going to be on the front stoop and we're going to be talking, we're going to talk about hip hop music and what's the stuff that's going on, man. Hip hop society and life. That's what we're gonna talk about. So I know you guys will enjoy it, have a good time. We have a lot of good conversations when we do it. You know, if you are a hip hop fan and you like DJ Premier, we're gonna talk about DJ Premier Gangstar. We're gonna talk about Ghostface Killer. We're gonna talk about Sky Zoo's new album and other stuff that's happening. You know what I mean? So, you know, we're going to do it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for being on with me. I think we had a really good discussion. You know, a lot of stuff to think about and talk about. But hey, training camp, man, 10 days away, 9 days away. Training camp is 9 days away. I can't wait. We got more to get to, though. When we get back on Monday, you know what I'm saying, we're going to start breaking down, we're going to start looking at the schedule game by game and talk about talk about the matchups and what games we might win and all that kind of stuff. So we still got a lot of stuff to get to. You know what I mean? Actually, we'll probably do that one the Friday before training camp. I want to get to breaking down some film and talking about ways that I want to use, that I think we should use different players that are coming into the team, different players that we already have, break down some film and really look at these type of things. So, and that's likely what we'll be doing the next 2 shows. Okay. So anyway, I'm out. I thank you guys for being here with me. Join me on the front stoop. And I'm going to catch y'all, man. Peace.